Yopo guys, today I've watched Matthew's video on Frostplate's build, which is a ranger going CI and using a rare glow instead of Touch of Anguish. A lot of people playing on hardcore will get as an example his build, and I wanted to go through a few crucial points why his build is not the way to go for hardcore, and especially on a budget, because CI gear, as we all know, is quite expensive, and if you have the currency to invest 300 to 500 or more chaos in the build, that's good. However, if you want to go on a budget 50 to 100 chaos, it's much better to go HP based. At the moment I'm sitting at 5.1k HP, which sounds quite low for the tier of maps that I'm running, which is up to tier 13 at the moment. This is my highest drop that I got. My level is 88. Let's go through my gear and explain what is the difference between the way I chose to run my build, obviously except HP versus CI, but also passive nodes and DPS links. So in terms of gear, definitely 2 Touch of Anguish, because both of them would give you the free chain. If you want to, you can weapon swap to a rare close for single target in order to improve your single target. As helmets, what accuracy, HP resistance, a lot of room for improvement on this helmet. I even have seen a few with 90 HP and the double 40 plus resistance with even up to 400 accuracy, going for as cheap as 10 to 15 chaos. This helmet I bought for like 5 chaos. This amulet, which is the Code Breach upgraded version of the amulet, is definitely best in SWAT because it chills the enemies, blinds them, which sadly doesn't make anything due to comms roots, but anyway, blinds the enemies, so it could help your party members or yourself if you're not using the comms roots, even though in my opinion these are best SWAT as well. Also though, the important part is the 20% code penetration. We'll go over that in a second again. As rings, the implicit of this ring is wasted, but pretty much I need a 30 int, otherwise I have to spend it on the pass tree. Weapon alley and resistance and HP, these are the needed stats, and accuracy. This ring is also pretty much weapon alley, HP, resistance, and accuracy. I have prepared here another ring that I'm going to use once I find this ring. Once I find a helmet that gives me fire and lightning resistance, in order to be able to swap to this resistance from this ring. But I'm missing the accuracy here. As belt, the same thing, rare belt with weapon alley, HP, and resistance. You also can go for the audience belt, which I sadly sold, so I cannot show, but it pretty much it gives 1% leech, life leech versus chilled enemies, and you're chilling everything due to the amulet. As chest, a rare chest, I bought this one literally for 25 chaos, and you can, I got a little bit lucky though, so you most probably have to spend like 30 chaos on it and craft it with an essence. As links, frost blades, multi-strike, hypothermia, which gives 38% more damage against chilled enemies, and you're chilling everything. So, and it also gives you chill duration. Also gives you freeze chance, which is really important because your crits do not always freeze due to the Touch of Anguish clause. Increase crit gem, weapon alley, and code penetration. Code penetration is huge. Your 2 DPS obviously will be lower, but your AoE clear is not a problem whatsoever anyway, so the code penetration at 36 is going to stack really heavily with the 5% penetration from here, 8 penetration from here, 15 and 15 from the Zujos, and 20 from the flask. You end up at 100 plus penetration, which means that the enemies will be on negative elemental resistance. And here is the first thing that really irritated me watching Matthew's video. Not only that in all his builds he's using Blood Rage as CI, which is a softcore thing to do, and secondly he's using faster attacks in his main links, which means this is a two-tip warrior build. He's saying, you know, AoE clear anyway of Frost Blades is amazing, and I'm trying to fix up the only issue, which is the single target, and then he's using faster attacks instead of code penetration. I hope I don't need to go through the details why code penetration as a 6th socket gem or even 5th is much better for single target and faster attacks. If you're at 90%, not at 90, actually I'll be at 75% penetration versus 100% penetration. Actually I'll be at 65 without the code gem. So 65 penetration versus 100 penetration is a retardedly crazy difference in the DPS if you're not using penetration gem versus using penetration gem. So super quickly, let's go through a map. Again, my gear, a ring like that usually is posted for like 20 to 30 chaos if you're patient enough and you have life surge and you're just waiting for a good deal. You can buy rings like that for as cheap as 10 to 15 chaos. The same thing about this one, the same thing about the belt. I bought these gloves for like 30 chaos. They're corrupted to 10 chance, which is definitely not mandatory. I'm just lazy to curse and I love the auto cursing. And you can get a rare pair, or I'm using these literally just because of the life and code resistance. Comms runes, definitely amazing boots, up to 200 HP. I bought these for 3 chaos and they're corrupted with maximum frenzy charge. Also, the cannot be bugged is nice, but the important part is on wearing stance, so I can literally just stand still and attack, and unless something one-shots me, I'll be able to survive because I instantly leech everything back due to Vow Pact. And you cannot be sold below base speed, means literally immunity to temp chains and chilled ground. As a passive tree, starting as a ranger, picking up some DPS nodes, picking up the conversion nodes, obviously the Fangs of the Frost, picking up these nodes because Reflect is a fucking bitch. You're gonna one-shot yourself if you don't have these leech nodes, plus the leech nodes up here at the Soul Raker. Anyway, so taking up the HP and the dual-wielding nodes at the duelist, taking the penetration elemental damage, Vow Pact, the damage and HP and damage again, crit, and that's pretty much it. The tree is pretty straightforward. I used to pick up point blank, but it's good at, let's say, normal crew and early merciless, but once you start turning maps and let's say right leg merciless, your chains chain at so great distances that it's just not worth it to have point blank, because in the long run it's gonna lower your DPS. As a raider, free generation of frenzy charges, +1 frenzy charge, and taking out of the veil for complete immunity to all status alignments whenever you use your Unsword flask. As flask, actually, let's go to my flask super quickly. So I'm using an HP pot with poison, which is not mandatory exactly to be that one. This is just the one I have, and it's actually good because I don't have otherwise immunity to poison. Quicksilver, which gives me immunity to all status alignments and immunity to curses. Diamond Flask definitely helps a lot, as my crit chance is as low as 50. So this means that it pushes it to 75. This gives me 25 crit chance, which is quite nice. The Wise Oak definitely as a flask, which is important. Your resistance is the code one to be the highest of your other ones. Again, I'm barely capped on Mercy. I need to swap my helmet and put that other ring in order to be able to cap myself for Ellie weakness. And obviously a Chemist Flask, actually not Chemist Flask, obviously as a Basalt Flask. Actually this one gives me immunity to poison anyway, so there is that. Alright, so I opened the museum map just because I don't want to open a map like a Strand, where usually the monsters are definitely easy and you're just one-shotting everything, even though I kinda got lucky here on the monster type. So, as DPS, as clear speed, as you can see, Frostblades in general doesn't have any issues. You're freezing everything, you're killing everything quite quickly, it's definitely a budget build that can be played on hardcore with on a budget. To start the build, I would say all you need is like 10 chaos just to purchase your Touch of Anguish and maybe Comms Roots, and that's it. On a 5 link, which can be purchased for as low as 1 to 3 chaos, it's more than enough. At leveling, I was leveling with Frost Blades as well. For 1 alchemy, you can buy the level 1 alchemy to 1 chaos. You can buy all the leveling weapons, which are the level 1 quo. I used it up to level 26. At 26 there is a different unique quo. At level 36 is the Morton, so after you pick that one. At level 46 is the one that gives you that your hits cannot be evaded, and then at 58 level you're putting 68 level, sorry, you're putting the Touch of Anguish gloves. So as you can see, I'm just blazing through everything, and it's your clear speed is pretty much limited to your playstyle. And are you focusing on the game? At the moment I'm focusing a little bit on what exactly to go through for the build, so I'm a little bit slower than usual, but yeah, you can still see that the DPS and the survivability, even with 5k HP for hardcore on a budget, it's just there. With this guy, I farmed definitely over 500-600 chaos, and the character is like 1 day old. Whoa. Oh yeah, she started yesterday. Yeah. Anyway, so and he's just raping through this what is it, like tier 8 map, which again is not that high, I understand that, but I wouldn't say that this character is necessarily a character that's supposed to do everything in the game, including, let's say, Shaper. This is just a fast farmer that can generate currency for you while not just doing boss kills or anything that can be a little bit tedious and boring, but playing with your friends, mapping, and at the same time generating currency quite quickly due to quick clear speed. Also, yeah, also I'm using Frost Bomb. Oh, you saw how my HP spiked as low as, I don't know, like here, which is like what, 1500 left, and survived it just because of the Wall Pact and the insane life leech, which keeps me alive. So that's about it. The bosses, most of the bosses are definitely frozen. And yeah, one last thing that I forgot to mention about penetration is I'm using Frost Bomb. When you press it, when you cast it like this for 5 seconds, gonna stay and casting these pulses, and after 5 seconds gonna explode. And after the explosion, because each pulse debuffs the enemies, for additional 2 seconds they're gonna be debuffed. So once you cast it for the next 7 seconds, monsters here in this area are going to lose even their caprice of their code resistance is going to be reduced even further with additional 20%. So as links: increased duration, Frost Bomb, Vow Lightning Trap, Vow Haste, which I never used, Blood Magic, Fortify, faster attacks, and Whirling Blades, casting damage taken, Vortex, which I really like, Immortal Call, Hatred, Arctic Armor, and Summon Ice Golem. And the main links, we went through them. So that's about it, guys. Definitely go off a little bit more penetration ways approach with this build, because you already have the possibility to stack so much penetration. With a few further steps, the build definitely shines. The clear speed that you saw at this museum is pretty much exactly the same at tier 10s and 11s. I would say that the only harder content for this build is bosses that you cannot freeze. Everything else is just frozen, and the one thing that would most probably kill you is if you're running Shananism with Beyonds and Nemesis. If there is a Beyonder with Volatile's Blood, the thing is that as instantly when they spawn, they die, and pretty much this is what happens. One of the things that can kill you is definitely unexpected burst damage from undead mechanism. Alrighty guys, see you later.